Domestic violence is a pressing issue that affects countless lives in our society, and it demands our immediate attention. It is a silent epidemic that has taken root in our communities, particularly in the Black community, and it's high time we come together to address it head-on. Today, we'll be shedding light on this issue through the tragic story of Deja Garrett, a 24-year-old mother of two, whose life was cut short by a domestic violence incident. Welcome to American Crime, Femicide channel. Please subscribe, like, and click the notification button. Deja Garrett, whose real name was Deje'una De'Un'Shae Garrett Hilliard, was a vibrant young woman with dreams and aspirations. She was born on February 6, 1999 to mother Shamika Garrett and her fathers Kelvin Woodley Jr. and Reginald Hilliard. Deja grew up in Houston, Texas. There she attended and graduated from Westfield High School. Shortly afterwards, she welcomed her first son, followed by another son a few years later. At just 24 years old, Deja was a devoted mother to two beautiful children and a beloved member of her community. She was a mother, a daughter, granddaughter, sister, auntie, niece, cousin, and friend. She had a very wise soul and loved expressing herself creatively through hair, nails, all things fashion, and her love of music. Deja was very playful, friendly, outgoing, vivacious, and had an infectious smile that brought love and joy to so many. She loved taking selfies and capturing the special moments of her life, but nothing could capture the essence of joy that motherhood brought to her. She absolutely loved and adored her children, and they were her entire world. If you were fortunate enough to be present when she gazed into their faces, you'd possibly be blinded by the pure joy that radiated within her. She wanted nothing more than for them to have a wonderful life. Tragically, Deja fell victim to the shadows of domestic violence, an incident that could have been prevented. According to court documents, on March 21, 2023, 27-year-old Jaron Thomas caused the death of his girlfriend, Deja, by applying pressure to the neck and throat of hers with his hands and impeding her breath while they were having erotic asphyxiation.
A Channelview man has now been accused of strangling his girlfriend to death during what he claims was a sex act gone wrong. Jaron Thomas is now charged with manslaughter in the death of Deja Garret Hilliard. Thomas says he started choking his girlfriend in the middle of sex when she became unresponsive. He has now been arrested and is booked in the Harris County Jail.
Family members of Deja contacted media outlets and said that Thomas's claims were not true and that she was, in no way, his girlfriend. The family says the two were just friends and they do not believe she was engaged in any willing sex act with the suspect. Some say that Thomas created the false narrative as an alibi for his wrongdoing. Thomas was arrested and booked into the Harris County Jail and released on bail. On July 20, 2023, Jaron was arrested, again, this time for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. HPD patrol officers responded to a person down call and found the 18-year-old victim in the parking lot. She had suffered wounds to her neck and lacerations. Houston Fire Department paramedics transported the woman to the hospital. A preliminary investigation determined the victim was assaulted inside a room at the motel. The young woman was transported to an area hospital in stable condition. If Thomas had been held without bond, the second incident would have not occurred. A common misconception when it comes to domestic violence is that the abuser and victim have to be in a romantic relationship for it to be considered domestic violence. That's incorrect. Domestic violence is violence committed by someone in the victim's domestic circle. This includes partners and ex-partners, immediate family members, other relatives and family friends. The term, domestic violence, is used when there is a close relationship between the offender and the victim. There is usually a power gap between them. The victim is dependent on the offender. Domestic violence can take the form of physical, sexual or psychological abuse. Domestic violence is not confined to just physical harm. It encompasses emotional, psychological, and financial abuse as well. In the Black community, this issue often remains hidden due to fear, stigma, and a lack of resources. It's crucial to acknowledge that domestic violence is not a private matter. It's a public health crisis that requires collective action. In the Black community, unique challenges such as systemic racism, lack of resources, and cultural stigma can exacerbate the problem. It's crucial to acknowledge that domestic violence is not a private matter. It's a public health crisis that requires collective action. In the Black community, unique challenges such as systemic racism, lack of resources, and cultural stigma can exacerbate the problem. Awareness and education are fundamental tools in dismantling the cycle of abuse. We must teach our daughters, sisters, and friends that love should never hurt. And our sons must learn to be respectful partners who reject violence. Organizations like shelters, helplines, and support groups offer a lifeline for survivors. In the Black community, it's crucial to have culturally sensitive resources that understand the unique challenges faced by survivors. Communities play a crucial role in addressing this issue. We must create safe spaces where survivors can find refuge and support. Together, we can dismantle the culture of silence and shame. Deja's tragic story is a wake-up call for all of us. We must stand up against domestic violence. Changing the narrative requires a multi-pronged approach. Empowering survivors to reclaim their lives, challenging harmful stereotypes, and holding perpetrators accountable are all essential steps. We must also address the root causes of domestic violence, including toxic masculinity, unequal power dynamics, and socioeconomic disparities. By dismantling these factors, we can pave the way for a safer, healthier future. As we remember Deja Garrett and countless others who have suffered due to domestic violence, let us commit to change. We must address this epidemic head-on, for the sake of our sisters, daughters, mothers, and friends. By raising our voices, educating ourselves, and fostering a community of support, we can ensure that no one else loses their life to the shadows of abuse. Remember, addressing domestic violence is not just an option, it's a necessity. Together, we can break the cycle and build a brighter future for generations to come. Please keep Deja's sons, friends, and family in your thoughts and prayers. Rest in peace, Deje'una Garrett Hilliard.
I wish that heaven had visiting hours, and I would ask them if I could take you home. But I know what they'd say, that it's for the best. So I will live life the way you taught me and make it on my own. And I will close the door, but I will open up my heart. And everyone I love will know exactly who you are. 'Cause this is not goodbye, it is just till we meet. So much has changed since you've been away.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We love you,